We live, as I hope you know, Mr. Worthing, in the age of ideals. The fact is constantly mentioned in the more expensive monthly magazines, and I've reached a providential pulpit, I am told. And my ideal has always been to love someone in the name of Ernest. There's something in that name that inspires absolute confidence. The moment Algernon first mentioned to me that he had a friend called Ernest, I knew I was destined to love you.
You really love me, Gwendolyn?
Passionately.
Darling, you don't know how happy you've made me.
My own Ernest.
But you don't really mean to say that you couldn't love me if my name wasn't Ernest.
But your name is Ernest.
Yes, I know it is. But suppose it was something else. You don't mean to say you couldn't love me then.
That is clearly metaphysical speculation. Like all metaphysical speculations, has very little reference at all to do with the actual facts of real life as we know them.
Personally, darling, to speak quite candidly, I don't much care about the name of Ernest. I don't think the name suits me at all.
It suits you perfectly. It is a divine name. It has music of its own. It produces vibrations.
Well, really, Gwendolyn, I must say that I think there are lots of other much nicer names. I think Jack, for instance, is a charming name.
Jack? No. There's very little music in the name of Jack, if at all in any. It does not thrill. It produces absolutely no vibrations. I know several Jacks, and they all, without exception, seem usually plain. Besides, Jack is notorious domesticity for John, and I pity any woman who is married to a man called John. She'd probably never be allowed to know the entrancing pleasure of a single moment's solitude. The only really safe name is Ernest.
Gwendolyn, I must get christened at once. I mean, we must be married at once. There's no time to be lost.
Married, Mr. Worthing?
Well, surely you know that I love you, and you led me to believe, Miss Fairfax, that you are not absolutely indifferent to me.
I adore you, but you haven't yet proposed. Nothing has been said at all about marriage. The subject has not even been touched on.
Well, may I propose to you now?
I think it'd be an admirable opportunity to spare you any possible disappointment, Mr. Worthing. I think it's only fair to tell you quite frankly beforehand that I am determined to intercept you.
Gwendolyn!
Yes, Mr. Worthing, what have you got to say?
You know what I've got to say to you.
Well, you don't say it.
Gwendolyn, will you marry me?
Of course I will, darling. How long have you been about it? I'm afraid you have very little experience in how to propose.
I own one. I have never loved anyone in the world but you.